Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. Listen, there we go. We've already seen the interview from Parag. Obviously, a lot of stuff was announced a little bit later on for Leeds United, and by God, he has said that Leeds United won't become Red Bull Leeds, and they're not going to get anything on the badge, and they're not going to get anything on just basically our branding, which is something that I said this morning. I firmly expected. As I said to you guys, it was mentioned to me this morning that it was something of a minority stake. It has been absolute meltdown, and you've seen my video at 7 o'clock, which has just been like almost what Leeds can do going forward, which is nice. But I just wanted to, it's probably about 9-10 o'clock by the time I put this out, and for you Aussies and you Americans, it might be a little bit earlier, but just calm down for me, everybody. Like, the hysteria for this has been like nothing I've ever seen, and a lot of you guys might think that notoriously I'm probably the type of individual who comes on here and is upset at players, upset at managers and stuff, and I've mentioned this previously. Well, yeah, I can be, but that's on the pitch and that's something that I can control. This is something that I can't control, so I don't really see the point in getting your knickers in a twist about it. There is so many financial football experts online, it is unbelievable. I've had paragraphs sent to me about Red Bull structure and how the intricacies of their business works and how Leeds United are going to be affected in such a negative sense by this. I'll be honest, it's really narked me off. Everybody can have an opinion. Of course they can. Everybody can have an opinion. And you guys might find this quite ironic because I have a big platform and I have certain opinions on players, on managers and stuff like this. But I think when it comes to the framework and the structure of the club, it's way more important to have sort of a positive outlook on things, because that's if it is positive. If it is positive, if it is looking in the right direction, and ultimately if it's realism, because I bank myself on being realistic, and I say to myself, look, yeah, I always try for a solution. That's what I always try do. And with if you're being cynical about something, pessimistic about something, if you offer a solution, then I don't see that as negative at all. It's not negative if you offer solutions. And I think what the 49ers have done here is offered a solution. They've offered a solution to our problems, which is the likelihood is in the second year of our development in the Championship, we might struggle a little bit because there's a reduction 18% wise in our parachute payments. There is a likelihood that some of our best players leave, and there might be not enough capital or as much capital for players coming in. So I think they've actually done what any shrewd businessman should be doing. It's to look at the market. It's to look at potential investors who've been interested in Leeds United for a while, which we know with Red Bull has been almost 10 years. But I don't think Red Bull should be associated with Leeds United now as they were associated with Leeds United when it comes to GFH and Chelino. I think that is a completely different way of living, a way of life when it comes to ownership. And I just think fans, and I'll be honest, I've said it a couple of times today, podcasts and certain individuals today, you're right to express your opinion, of course you are, but personally, I just think it's a lot of scaremongering. I think it's a lot of what if this happens? If this happens, we are in trouble. If that happens, then in 5 years' time, and in 3 years' time, in 4 years' time, in 10 years' time. That's what I've heard today. And I just think it's completely missing the point. I think it's completely missing right now what we are looking at as a fan base and as a club. It's for immediate success. It's for return. It's for a return to the top tier of English football. And I just think that there is a lot right now of individuals, and I understand it, people saying, oh, well, this is the problem. But a lot of these people who I've spoken to as well were saying to me personally that Farke was going to be out of the job at the end of the season. I knew for a fact that he wasn't going to be out of the job, and that has been something that has seen its way through. I was told 3-4 months ago that he would have a job at the end of it, no matter what. I came on here and said that no matter what, he would have a job. And probably certain people may be saying to you guys that he wouldn't have a job and it's dependent on results. That's just not the case, So I firmly trust the transparency that I've been given when it's come to Leeds United and the ownership that we have. I completely trust Parag Marath. I think what he's done so far has been exceptional. And I think it's right for people to be concerned, but I also think it's right for me to have a platform like I've got, which is nearly 32,000, well, it's over 32,000 subscribers now. It nearly fills Ellen Road, which I can only say thank you to you guys for. I think it's right for me as a platform to come out on here and say, look, right now they have a minority stake. The facts that we know. The facts are that Parag has come out and said that Leeds will not become the Red Bull conglomerate franchise. The facts are they start with a very minor stakehold in this club that essentially will give us that financial capital to be able to compete at the top of the division with the clubs that have the parachute payments from the first year of being relegated from the Premier League. I've also been told very, very implicitly HMS pissed the league from a very good source. Now, I see that as completely positive. When I'm talking about players on the pitch, when I'm talking about managers who've maybe not done it for me in the past, I think they're up for criticism because of what they display on the pitch week in, week out, and they're directly there for criticism. Of course they are, because they're producing what they're producing on and off the pitch. Sometimes I've been critical of what's gone on off the pitch as well. But when we are fed with transparency, when we are fed with the 49ers from day dot saying that they will take over, really, in almost read between the lines terms, they will take over. They are going to do their best to be transparent with the fan base. They are really going to try bring us into a new era when it comes to marketing and communication. They're going to get rid of all the League One staff that were Vibes FC. And that's, by the way, people who've lost the job at Ellen Road in the past however many seasons and stuff, and months I should say. I don't mean you directly, but I think there's certain people behind the scenes. You know, there's always hard-working people, but it was a League One operation from what I was told behind the scenes. They brought in the players in the first window. I think January they missed out a little bit, but that's the confidence maybe they had in the squad, who were performing very well at that moment in time. They'll have learned from that. They have a plethora and a portfolio of unbelievable work with the Levi Stadium and what they've done with the San Francisco 49ers over the past decade and a bit, which has brought San Francisco 49ers to nothing to what they are today, competing in a Super Bowl championship amongst other things. This is a business of which I trust in. It is a franchise of which I trust in, and I can't help that. They've only shown me positive things, and I have to say that, and I have to come out here with the big following that I do have on social media and YouTube and say that I do disagree with a little bit of the scaremongering which I think is going on. If it does happen in 4 or 5 years' time and Red Bull do take over, I don't think that will happen. I think Parag is going to be a custodian of the club for a long time to come, and I think Parag has the understanding of what Ellen Road is all about, because America isn't an alien place of which they don't have working class cities and working class cultures. I think that understanding that Leeds is that is very clear to Parag. He's done enough meetups in America, across the world, in, you know, not just Leeds, America, but everywhere. Australia, he's done a meetup. He understands what Leeds United is, and it all comes down to trust. This whole panic station, this whole hypothetical scenarios and all this sort of stuff and scaremongering comes down to scenarios of which you are basing your opinion on Parag and other 49ers Enterprises members, because you think, if you do believe on that mindset, that they will sell out. They will sell the 49ers Enterprises arm of Leeds United, a majority shareholder, to Red Bull, even though in 4 or 5 years we will be prosperous, even though in 4 or 5 years there will be probably no point in selling the club whatsoever to Red Bull with the profit that they will get and the margin that they will get, especially if we are looking to the upward stages of the Premier League, which you will be hopeful for in 4 or 5 years' time. Then would they be looking at Europe? You know, there is so many stages here of which the 49ers would be completely ridiculous on to move out and sell the majority of their shares to Red Bull. It would essentially spit in the face of all the hard work that they've done. Yes, they would get a fee for it, but from what I understand, Parag is very much in this for the long haul. members behind and at boardroom level are very much in for the long haul. Parag's come out and said today it's not going to be Red Bull Leeds. He's also come out today and said that there's not going to be any Red Bull members on the board. He's also said that nothing will change with Leeds United when it's come to historical context, when it's come to the brand, when it's come to the badge, when it's come to the logo, when it's come to the stadium. But all of this is harboured paranoia, and it's annoyed me today that certain podcasts, certain sites have accentuated this, which in my opinion, because they have such a big presence online, has harboured even more sort of worry from the Leeds United fans. And listen, you can do that. Of course you can do that. But for me, right now, Leeds are in a good state. There is a 60 million quid investment in the club from the Red Bull of what we know right now. There is good intentions. There are communication strategies with the fans all the time. And listen, LUFC Trust are going to go to Leeds United with concerns. Of course they are. And that is completely valid. And of course you can do that. But there is concerns and there is scaremongering, of which I think there's a big difference right now. And to just completely base everything that the 49ers partnership, bearing in mind the 49ers have been brilliant with us. They've been absolutely brilliant with us. When we were in literally obscurity with the donuts in charge, and thank God Parag and co and the enterprises took over at Leeds United, and we've got the first windows that we've had, with the first season under the 49ers that we've had this positive impact from them. For them then to go in partnership with Red Bull, and then Red Bull to take a majority sharehold, like, there is so much context applied here, so much context. Salzburg, Leipzig weren't owned by the 49ers enterprises. Parag wasn't a thing. You know, we can talk about minority shareholders that the Red Bull network were. Of course we can do that. But at the end of the day, the 49ers weren't initially in charge. The 49ers have done the due diligence with Leeds United. They know what it means to the city. They know what it means in terms of a culture, a tradition, prestige. And this all matters to Parag because it's all he ever goes on about. You've got to take all this stuff into your headspace before making a judgment, in my personal opinion. And that's my 2 cents on it. And if you want to take anything from it, some of you guys think I'm the most negative person on planet Earth. I have full trust in this board. They've delivered what they've said they were going to deliver for a long time now. Do I agree with some bits when it comes to the manager? Maybe not. But overall, I am massively backing what's happening at this moment in time, and I'm excited. Roll on the transfer window. Roll on Leeds United. Roll on your opinions, everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe. Get them in the section below. See you in a bit.